Now that my stomach doesn't feel like it's basically ripping itself apart because I'm starving. Now that I've eaten, it's time to get back into this. It's been how long? It's been about half an hour. Okay.
Tell her about the flame chase journey. And then let her become a romantic part of this story. I believe every Cyrene will make the same choice. Erasing time again and again. Resetting time over and over. After all, they're all me. And I will always have my charm. Then, I'll fall into a sweet dream, disappearing in some small corner of the world. Quietly, waiting for the day when that next page is turned.
And I will keep going. Even if the road ahead is dark. I will burn myself to light the way. Rather than let the core flames become nourishment for the black tide, I'll become their vessel to prevent the arrival of Aranova. Even if I have to burn through my own body, it's no matter. As long as I don't extinguish, the flame chase will never end. Until Amphorius welcomes a true dawn.
The girl who watches over time, and the warrior who carries the world. Now, let us fulfill the duties of time and world-bearing. Honor the past, and forge ahead.
I promise you, the pain will pass in the blink of an eye.
You need to hold tight to this ceremonial blade. After I'm gone, it will take you back to the beginning of time. The start of a new story. I believe that in that story, or in countless stories, each alike yet unique, everyone, all the companions who sacrificed themselves, alongside the deliverer we once dreamed of as children, will reunite beneath a vast, endless sky.
If we can never break free from this prison, I will stand my ground until the day someone shatters this endless cycle and writes the final chapter of Amphorius' fate.
So, let's set out. We will be the ones to start everything. Carry the primordial chaos, just as your name suggests. And bear this world we hold so dear. So long, Khaslana.
There it is! Khaslana, baby!
The process I have observed. Instruction synthesis is formed.
I will wait for that day for as long as it takes. The day will come whenever this eternal and follows in our footprints. The right energy and what ever was. That will be a romantic story like none that has come before. You think so too, right?
Now, where will this story take us? Because I have no fucking idea.
The world is collapsing. And the people are crying. We too must part ways here. Friend.
Ides Elysiae, the little village of my childhood. The gentle breeze and the sound of waves still linger.
Everything is as it was. It feels good to take one last look.
You know, this is just a corner of the memory. The real Ides Elysiae.
I know. I'm here to say goodbye. We might not see each other again.
You can stay here forever. And time will stand still for you.
Let it flow. It's time for me to go.
Even if it's a path with no turning back.
When have we ever had the luxury of turning back?
Are you afraid? After learning the truth of your origins, will you see the motivation I gave you as the manipulating whispers of destruction?
The convictions and choices that come from my heart. I don't believe they're designed by the so-called paths. If we are just numbers, simulating life, then you are the image I've always longed for. The person I wish to become. A real, living person. A true hero.
Okay, so this is just a, that's a generic player model, or like a generic NPC model. But it's like gold. That's it. They just changed the entire outer shader color.
Then why do we part here? You can take me with you, and we can start this journey together. I'll be by your side, guiding you, just like before.
No. I'm afraid I'm on my own this time.
Why?
Because there is no perfect solution in this world. Cyrene has already embraced her fate, and I will embrace my origin. Destruction. And with this power, I will rebel against its creator, bringing endless fury to the darkness sweeping the world. If you stay by my side, I'll hesitate. But this world can't afford a soldier who wavers. Do you remember when we were kids? Everyone would get so excited drawing cards like ruler or warrior, but throw fits over devil or drunkard and demand a redo. Kids always get to change their minds. Things are so happy and simple for them. But when it comes to the fate of adults, there's no room for redos.
Then go, Khaslana, as you promised. Deceive the world, seize the core flames, and rewrite your fate. Burn yourself up with all your might. Wield your futility like a sword. And fight against the gods.
In the name of world-bearing, I promise you, Kefali will never forget this. So, time retreated behind me until it reached the origin, where nothing ever existed, just as Professor Anaxa once said. In that void, Kefali stood at the center of chaos. Time, space, and causality all flowed from their body. When the waves of time finally calmed, it was the year 3870 of the light calendar. The Chrysos War had lasted for nearly a century, and the threat of the Black Tide was growing stronger and more relentless. That was the era of the Day Thunder Knight's battle with the sky. While she could not seize the core flame, she proved that the prophecy was true. That mortals could slay gods. From that moment, the sole survivor of the old dynasty, Imperator Saridra, issued a call to arms across the lands, summoning heroic Chrysos heirs to wage war on the Titans.
First mention of Saridra.
And that was the first doomed flame chase journey, sealed away in history.
Iceland's.
So what you're saying is, you've traveled back down the River of Time, finally reaching this untouched seabed just to tell us the flame chase journey and even all of Amphorius are nothing but illusions in an eon's dreams?
Exactly. So, Dux Gladior, please take me to meet Her Majesty Saridra. I must share the truth with her.
Since Her Majesty's not here, no need for formalities. The word Gladiorum always reminds me of my fallen homeland buried deep in the depths. Call me High Sealands, nameless swordmaster.
Please allow me to add one more thing. You actually already know my name.
You mean Finan? But I won't question you further about it. Ever since Her Majesty issued the Flame Chase Decree, heroes from all over have sent their letters of introduction. What's the harm in adding one more name like Finan or Pinan? Besides, the deep sea is dark. Isn't it the perfect place to hide secrets best left unseen? All right, nameless swordmaster. Hold on to my wake. Let's find somewhere else to talk.
Aren't you even a little suspicious of what I've said?
Harboring suspicions is not my concern. My sword dances only when the Imperator harbors doubts. There's no use in speaking further. Show me your true intentions through action.
Oh, I know how this works. That makes
Perhaps you
sense.
should demonstrate your skills and calm the raging black tide for us.
Die.
Light up the dawn.
Yep. I'm interested. I wasn't expecting to hear them yet. I'm interested to know who their ENVAs are. So we're just gonna be really cool. I'm super curious if it's the same as Farina's or not.
Light up the dawn.
I'm also interested to actually see Saridra because I know she's tiny. She's small.
Oh,
She's quite literally. Oh. She's quite literally shorter than Hyacinth. Like, just barely, but she is shorter than Hyacinth.
nice moves.
Light up the dawn.
We just washed it away and here it comes again. The black tide is really no joke.
It is, in fact, destruction incarnate.
Light up the dawn. Light up the dawn.
It is nothing more than the essence of destruction itself.
The waters end here. The one you seek is beyond this point.
It's gonna tell if her if her stomach is like actually transparent or not. It's hard to tell from this angle.
I can meet with Her Majesty Saridra herself. Are there any formalities I need to observe?
Don't kneel, don't do the hand-kissing or foot-kissing gestures of the old dynasty. And most of all, don't bow. The Imperator despises such rituals. Especially when the heads of those taller than her bend beneath her crown.
I still. Do they keep doing that on purpose? Where they keep misspelling words? It's Imperator. What is an Imperator? It's Imperator.
She really is down to earth.
The second thing to note, only trusted ones may come near her. Keep 5 paces distance until the Imperator allows otherwise.
Sounds like an old friend of mine.
Well, experience is a good thing. Stay sharp, and you'll be just fine.
I mean, I doubt she could do anything to him because he's ridiculously powerful, but, you know, it's nice to be on people's good side. Yeah, this is, the first eternal occurrence, Dawn Cloud during Doomsday. Is what it says at the top. Oh, it's Aglaya and Trivi. Or which one is it? Trivi, Trian,
That's
or Trivi?
Goldweaver, little hostage. Apologies for keeping you waiting.
It's you.
You know them?
Before that, I'm more curious about one thing.
To avoid any misunderstandings, nameless Swordmaster. Although we spoke and laughed along the way, I never said you were entitled to meet her. The Imperator decreed. The Deliverer will not appear in this age. Be wary of suspicious individuals. Come now, both of you. Let's finish our job.
I see. It's a trap. I had no intention of fighting. So remember this, Lady Hysilence. If my sword shows any hesitation, don't thank me. Thank them instead.
No, you misunderstand. We don't want to see Chrysoceres hurt each other. Just give us some time to ask you a few questions.
The Nestia's golden threads will judge you and decide your fate.
As you wish.
White-haired Swordmaster? If what you say is true, then you must know the fate of the world. So, how much do you know about what we read from the prophecy?
You shall shatter into 1,000 fragments and wither in the soil of foreign lands. Is that correct, Lady Trevi?
How is this possible?
He got it right?
Yes, but the prophecy never mentioned he'd appear here.
You must listen to me, Aglaya, Trevi. The final of this world has not yet been born. In a distant future, he will follow the prophecy's guidance and appear before you, but do not seek him out. Because Era Nova is a complete and utter lie. I will tell you the truth. And you will understand why the world must forsake the prophecy and find another path to Era Nova. Because I know both of you. And I believe that no matter how the course of history may change, the faith we all share will always remain the same. And so, the layers of rock began to reverse, and history wove itself anew. Through my acquaintances, I was given the chance to meet the leader of the Flame Chase journey, Sarit. And after a long and arduous negotiation, we came to an agreement. The Imperator's alliance needed the destruction, and I was ready to pour all my strength into it. The spoils of the Flame Chase, the core flames, would be sealed by my hand. But the condition was this. In the upcoming battle, in our conquest of the Earth, I had to prove that my power could transcend fate. In the original history, there was a brutal war. At the end, the Titankin of Georios, Terravox, killed the rampaging Titan and took the core flame that supported the Earth. But this time, Amphorius encountered a turning point in its fate. Neither side suffered any losses. When I severed the Titan's head and raised the core flame high, the crowd gathered around the scorched remains of the god, roaring with joy, cheering for the hero of the destruction, who had ignited the faint spark of life for the first time. Yes, in that flickering light, the once dark path ahead seemed to become clearer. I proved myself. And in the long years that followed, I brought down the other Titans, one by one. I could do more than just wait. When time resets, the chance to change the world also emerges from the lines of history. Until finally, the brutal future revealed by Era Nova is reversed. But tell me, if that's truly the case, why are we doomed to the same outcome? The people kept their promise and handed you all the core flames. In this world after Trebios, no demigods were born in Amphorius. At this point, I just want to know. When they vanished into the black tide with their mortal bodies, why didn't you shed even a single tear? Your indifference chills me. To you, were they just a bunch of insignificant footnotes? Sorrow has been my constant companion. In fact, with 12 core flames upon me, the fire in my heart has never been more violent. I'll remember this world through anger. As long as I burn, they'll never truly leave me. Perhaps it's already too late. But you're right. Anger, at this moment, is the only weapon I can rely on. So, draw your sword, Executioner. I'll make sure you realize that your greatest mistake was leaving me alive. After that, he raised his sword and attacked. Then, Khaslana killed himself that day. Who fell to the sword to be left in the past, and who went into the future. I can't remember anymore. I only remember a nymph, hiding in the shadows just out of sight, futilely pushing a stone ball. Climb, fall, climb, fall, climb again, and fall. The only freedom the nymph had was in choosing how to roll the stone. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow. Sometimes resting on a gentler slope, leaning against the stone for a break. But its choice couldn't change the futility of it all. The stone would always roll back down the slope, and the nymph would always return to the starting point. Beginning again. After that, every time I reached this point in the cycle, the burning sky would cast a shadow over its path. It would nearly reach the peak at the 4th quint of curtain fall hour, then fall to the starting point in the first 15 seconds of the next entry hour. And my efforts in this cycle would dissolve into nothing at the same time.
Eternal Recurrence number 1. Subject Khaslana persuaded the 12 Chrysos heirs to recover all 12 core flames in a peaceful way. After verification, the unauthorized access did not have a substantive impact on the experimental process. Life cycles of the 12 Chrysos heirs were terminated strictly in the predetermined experimental sequence, successfully loaded into the buffer. Subject Khaslana regressed the extrapolation process, and abnormal fluctuations were detected in his mind function. Admin notes. First, devastating failure. Eternal Recurrence number 2. Subject Khaslana adopted a strategy similar to Recurrence 1. No substantive impact on the experimental progress was made. Terminated normally in sequence, Subject Khaslana regressed the extrapolation process. External Recurrence number 3. Minor adjustments detected in Subject Khaslana's strategy. Suited weighting for avoid sacrifice of past companions has been increased. After verification, this adjustment did not have a substantive impact on the experimental progress. 5 cycles of the 12 crisis years terminated normally in sequence. Subject Khaslana progressed the extrapolation process. Eternal recurrence number 15. Subject Khaslana attempted to decompile the Black Tide for the first time, aiming to elevate access privileges and execute unauthorized access authorization operations against the specific subjects represented by the 12 Chrysos heirs. 5 cycles of the 12 Chrysos heirs terminated normally in sequence. Subject Khaslana progressed the extrapolation process. External recurrence number 42. Subject Khaslana's 11th attempt to breach the Scepter's core layer has failed. The decision waiting for void sacrifices of past companions showed a minor decline. 5 cycles of the 12 Chrysos heirs terminated in sequence. Subject Khaslana regressed the extrapolation process. Eternal occurrence number 133. Analysis of the observations from eternal occurrence number 83 to 133 indicates the subject Khaslana strategy is gradually converging with that of eternal occurrence number 42. Over-synchronicity risk detected. Potential cognitive function degrading suspected. Admin notes. This will undoubtedly reinforce the Iron Tomb's destructive vector. Within expectations. No intervention required. Continue observation. Eternal occurrence 134. This is one of the ones we saw.
Absolute nonsense. I thought cycles was the answer you were looking for. No. It's just that the answer came so suddenly. There was no fun in tracing it back to its roots. Eons, paths. What a load of nonsense. I can't give you an exact explanation of those two concepts either. Enough. I'm just expressing my frustration. Don't you understand? I was already expecting this. The Black Tide came from beyond the sky. And everything else is no exception. Fate is a strange thing. No matter how the details of history change, the Anax I know always remains as harsh as ever. If the other Anaxagoras actually worshipped the gods, I'd make sure to find a way to break the cycles and crush them in their cradles. Too bad. Now only you have the ability to do that. What's that supposed to mean? Of course. The core flames were meant to save the world. And in my opinion, the noble titans have no reason to refuse. Besides, according to you, before stepping into these endless cycles, you were my pupil. I've already heard the same thing. Countless times. Enough chit-chat. Let's go. If we run into any other scholars, leave them to me. We've all made preparations for total annihilation. Never thought someone would step in to help.
Light up the dawn. Light up the dawn. Light up the dawn.
You've been to the Luminary Throne before, haven't you? If you're talking about in past cycles. You were already much luckier than the other students.
Near the core flame.
Hold up. Keep your wits about you. Someone's watching us.
Pretty boy, your eyesight's better than I thought. As for that false god who's been turning the world upside down, it's you, isn't it, white hair?
You sure do love stealing the spotlight. In the name of the Seven Sages, I demand that you immediately step away from the Luminary Throne. This is the sacred ground of reason. Take my words back to Aglaya. I won't say the same thing twice, Catgirl.
Oh my! You won't even call me the demigod of trickery. That is just heartbreaking. I have some words for you, too. First, as one of the most heretical blasphemers in the world, you have no right to lecture me. This is none of your business, Grove Boy. Step aside. I don't want anyone getting hurt.
Here we go. Again.
Core flame thieves. You really think you can scare off a sage of the grove with nothing but empty threats?
Hey, this gloomy little brat's got a sharp tongue. Ooh, not bad, not bad. I kinda like you. As a return favor, please don't search this core flame right here. Aw, don't cry now.
That was close. I'm out of here.
Is this telling me about... Yeah, I already know this. I don't know why you're showing me that again. I use that pretty consistently.
They're exactly like all the past ones I've known. Cunning. And yet so naive.
Sounds like you have a plan.
Of course. When I first set out on the flame chase journey, Lady Treeby never managed to teach me Orynyx's miracle. But along the way, I learned a thing or two.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
The Venerationist's foolish inventions finally come in handy.
How is this possible?
You've arrived, Zacharias. Always so punctual.
What? Do you know who I am?
I'm running out of patience. So I'm not going to waste words. Listen up, spirit thief. Hand over the core flame, and let's pretend we never clashed. This way, you and this world can still be saved.
Save? You sing better than any bard. If you ask me, you're the greatest disaster Emporius has ever known. No matter how strong you are, you're still just a mortal body. Carrying 12 core flames? Don't make me laugh.
134.
What?
This is the 134th cycle I've lived through. And the number of core flames I carry is...
1,596.
Yes.
1,000 core flames and just a single Chrysos heir. How is that even possible?
I've come this far. And that's proof enough.
But someday you will burn to the ground.
Of course. The divine flames will eventually consume my eyes and blind me. But before that, they could still forge and sharpen Dawnmaker. Now when I cut open your stomach, you won't feel a thing. This is the final warning.
Fine. Assume this world holds 100 million. Even so, I'll use my divine power, despised by the people of this world. Brett, if you've got the guts, you'll have to first step over my dead body.
Bruh.
This little brat is not a threat we can deal with just by ourselves.
Existence is of no consequence.
Nice word.
No other choice but forward. A future will come. I can't let them down. For tomorrow. I'm fine.
There's no reason to do this, but I want to do it anyway.
How absurd.
In my memories, Zagreus always meets the same end. Over and over again. Their departure no longer stirs anything in my heart.
This reason core flame before us is a fake. Obvious as day.
I know. I know. It always plays out like this. And then, driven by defiance or hatred, she decides to stand before me once more, exactly like the countless past hers I've known. Cunning, yet so naive.
Since you've witnessed this same scene play out countless times, tell me, will you carve the trickery core flame from my chest now?
That depends on your attitude. At least so far, in the cycles where you've asked this question, the endings haven't been so cruel.
Well, thank you for that. But I also believe that this time, you won't catch up to me. No one can catch up to me. I'm no longer running to escape anymore.
Whether you believe me or not, I'll still tell you this. You've made the wrong decision.
All right, then. We'll see.
Silence. This is new.
One-eyed boy. What are you trying to pull now?
Go, Cythera. Give us some time in private. This isn't for her, but for you. You've walked too far down this path. It's time to discuss a possibility. Maybe the road you're walking is not one of salvation, but one that will simply drag the world into the flames for all time's sake. Turn back. I don't care how many times you've tried, because there's one thing I'm sure of. Your Messiah complex has turned you into something no different from the icy gods you spoke of. The children of humanity you swore to save. They are no more than ants to you now.
Of course. I've been wondering, what kind of demon could burn my homeland to the ground in an instant without batting an eye? Now I have the answer. It turns out that fiery demon has been fantasizing of becoming this world's deliverer.
I don't want to argue anymore. No matter what I say, the outcome won't change. Make your biggest effort, even if it's futile. Make your biggest effort to resist. Or accept fate, and hand over the core flame to me. Tile, you. We all have the right to choose.
Yes. Even if it is futile, and the world is just a divine joke.
When I walk into the destruction written by the gods, with my own two legs, you will witness. Even the smallest footnote still leaves a mark in the story.
And so, at the end of the 134th cycle, the Traveler and the Scholar fulfilled their fates once again. Or perhaps it wasn't just they who fulfilled their fates. I can't quite remember all this. In the endless darkness, for no reason, a voice always lingered by my ear. Losses are a constant on the flame-chased journey, among which even life itself holds little value. Reduced to ashes. Such a familiar end. It happens in every journey. Always the same.
Eternal Recurrence 134. Subject Khaslana's 103rd attempt to breach the Scepter's core layer has failed. Decision wait for a void sacrifice of past companions approach 0.00018. Over synchronicity risk detected. 5 cycles of the 12 crisis areas terminated in sequence. Subject Khaslana regressed the extrapolation process. Eternal Recurrence number 5297. Subject Khaslana's 5266 attempt to breach the Scepter's core layer has failed. 5 cycles of the 12 crisis areas terminated in sequence. The trend of acceleration noted. Subject Khaslana regressed the extrapolation process. No. Subject strategy now clearly identical to occurrence 42. Mind function degradation detected. If possible, irreversible damage. Administrator directive received. No more prompts about the risk of mind function damage. Eternal occurrence 12,398. Subject Khaslana's 12,367th attempt to breach the scepter's core layer has failed. Life cycles of 12 crisis areas terminated sequence. The extrapolation process regressed. Eternal reoccurrence 23,779. Subject Khaslana's 23,748th attempt to breach the scepter's core layer has failed. Life cycles of the 12 crisis areas terminated in sequence. The extrapolation process regressed. Eternal reoccurrence 46,645. Subject Khaslana's 46,614th attempt to breach the scepter's core layer has failed. 5 cycles of the 12 crisis area terminated in sequence. The extrapolation process regressed. Eternal reoccurrence 71,243. Subject Khaslana's 71,212th attempt. 212 and it's not, it's 212. You don't put ND at the end of it just because it's 2. To breach the scepter's core layer has failed. 5 cycles of the 12 crisis areas terminated in sequence. Extrapolation process regressed. Eternal recurrence 80,023. Subject Khaslana's 79,992nd attempt to breach the scepter's core layer has failed. Life cycles of the 12 crisis areas terminated in sequence. Extrapolation process regressed. It should be progress regressed. I don't know. Eternal recurrence 95,575. Subject Khaslana's 95,544th attempt to breach the scepter's core layer has failed. Life cycles of the 12 crisis areas terminated in sequence. Extrapolation process regressed. Eternal recurrence 108,641. Subject Khaslana's 108,610th attempt to breach the scepter's core layer has failed. Life cycles of the 12 crisis areas terminated in sequence. The extrapolation process regressed. Eternal recurrence 108,642.
You don't look so good. Deliver.
Even after going through 108,642 cycles, Mighty, your name for me has never changed.
Why do you sound so pleased? It's a derogatory name.
Yeah, I know all too well. You only meant it sincerely in the first cycle. After that one and only time we walked side by side. Every time since. It always ends up like this. Dawnmaker will stab you through your 10th thoracic vertebra. That's your weak spot. And the only way to kill you.
Interesting. Tell me, when the mighty Moses of the past faced you, did they ever retreat?
Never.
Then they died honorably, worthy of the name of strife. But there's still tenderness in your eyes. How pathetic.
I have to remember how this feels. Remember that I was once you. Or else the destruction will completely consume me.
If you win, tell the mighty most of the next life. This person is a worthy opponent. So always remember to give it your all and to never slack off.
I'll keep that in mind.
Even though the dynasty is left with just one, the Kremnos festival will continue as usual. I, the king of the Kremnoan Legion, will host the final feast in the center of this arena, and the prize will be the flames of strife. One day, you shall die with a wound in your back. That's what I saw when I overcame the trial. The gods' dying ramblings. Enough. You've probably heard this thousands of times. So you must understand, facing the demigod of strife means there's no way you'll take this core flame in peace.
I understand.
Step forward and face me in a final battle. I, the last
son of Gorgo, the demigod of strife, salute you. I'll give 10,000 scars and 10,000 lives of mine to fuel the blazing sun of deliverance. Martyrs, behold! The last Kremnos festival has begun. And will not end till death.
It's time to temper myself.
For tomorrow! Conquer this world, or be conquered by me.
As you wish.
I already know how this works, don't worry.
Full glory, I salute you. That's all I ever wanted.
Is it better to use this, probably? Well, this gives more points, I think, after being hit.
Is that all? Remember agony? The flames are not strong enough.
No, I get more souls. I get more soul score points from this. Or I get more. What is it called? I can't remember what it's called. Scourge. I get more scourge from using the other one.
So with the substance. Hail the new dawn. Is that all? We die. If you can deliver. Use the flames of your fury to scorch your own
Oh, and I get to keep it. Oh, the splitting sun doesn't get burned out. I keep going.
empty shell. I'll never yield to fate. So with the substance. Hail the new dawn.
Mighty Morse. Let striving decide the outcome. Let this burn.
Attack with the same attack backwards.
Well fought.
That's cool. Attack with the exact same ability first.
Crown yourself. My blood. In your next life, I shall once again block your path. Deliver. I wish you eternal victory.
The 108,642nd core flame of strife fell into the fire. Yet the shadows of the black tide still loomed, and pain and despair spread across distant lands. The blaze was still not enough. It had to be fed, even if it meant burning this body to ash.
Still got 31 million to go. Which means we've gone through 1 million now. Yeah, 3,436.
No matter how bright the sun is, there are still places it cannot reach. Moreover, the sun you bear is both cold and blinding. A sun like that surely cannot bring warmth to the nether realm of the next life.
Golden blood is born from the destruction. We have long since lost the right to seek warmth. Only blood, feeding the flames. Can we melt that hopeless future?
Allow
It's
me
slowly
to
going
ask,
out.
how many core flames do you carry now?
24 million.
24 million. 41,183.
Such a heavy burden. So that's why you've turned into this. A broken idol. Tragic firewood.
No matter. I will bear this burden as long as you hand over the core flame of death.
I must refuse. As the demigod of death, I cannot watch you walk into a fate more cruel than death.
But this way, the past, present, and future will never again suffer unnecessary death.
Unnecessary death. Indeed. You are not the Finan I know. Please turn back. Don't let that absurd and unjust fate of yours come to pass. This way, at least my realm can still become the fragrant bed where you fall asleep.
In the end, still, it seems the clash of blades was inevitable.
How painful. I know I am not your match, having fallen under your sword countless times. But even so, please understand that my resolve is not to be underestimated. Even Khaslana cannot shape all things at will, nor can they dictate the fate of all life. No one can shoulder the balance of life and death alone, not even a god. And it is precisely for this reason that I chose, at the end of this arduous journey, to overcome the trial and take the authority of death. I am the Hand of Shadow, Casterus, the demigod of death. Listen closely, deliverer from days past. Please turn back. Do not disturb these fresh flowers in their muddy deaths.
And there's Pollux.
At this crossroads of life and death, the giant dragon is but a shattered shell. Yet I will still fight, defending what hope remains.
It's time to temper myself for tomorrow. I'm fine.
I ask you to rest here.
Oh, I think it activated on my face.
I must transform my soul into a raging fire. Must.
All of this. How is it any different from that brutal future?
Sword of substance.
I can't keep you here.
Hail the new dawn.
She isn't able to do anything here.
Burn to ash.
And then he returns.
Sword of substance.
Even if I can't win, I must try.
Let this be a tribute to your million struggles.
Wake up, lost one. See that the firelight in the darkness is not.
The core flame of death was taken from the dragon's belly. What a brilliant flame. It should shine upon all. Light the path ahead. And illuminate the dawn of Amphorius that's to come. 2,003,432 cycles. 24,041,184 core flames. As if even the deepest abyss of primordial chaos could be burned away.